Some films aren't labeled as just good or even great. They get called revolutionary, genre-defining, or other over-the-top adjectives. Now, this could be due to the techniques used for their filming, the topics they explore, or the way the story is told. But then, as time passes, they stop being so amazing and start showing signs of age. You know, because something that was made 20 plus years ago can't always be relevant in today's day and age, and thus becomes difficult to watch. Our first example is American Pie. Now, who hasn't watched American Pie as a teenager? The raunchy, irreverent comedy was the spark that America's pop culture needed so that sexual, immature comedies become commonplace. Can you really imagine a world without the 40-year-old virgin, Scary Movie, and other vulgar comedies? Over 20 years later, the film's jokes and sexual content have become commonplace among millennials and Gen Zers. Thing is, the supposed rom-com hasn't aged spectacularly. While the story is all about the main characters learning to be respectful of their partners and not treating sex like a game, the film has a lot of scenes that are unacceptable in today's social climate. And I do mean a lot. Even one of the signature scenes, not the undressing, is a violation of her consent and will be viewed as a serious criminal offense nowadays. It's no wonder these types of comedies died out.
No, you were just in time. Oh, this is incredible.
As our number 4 entry, we have Scream. The 90s were a big time for horror movies. Specifically, the slasher genre was everywhere and it gave birth to all the cliches that we've come to expect from these types of films. Now, what Scream did was use meta-humor to differentiate itself from all the other slashers. The main characters are all fans of the slasher genre and thus know what's supposed to happen in the film's story. The thing is, the killers are also slasher fans. When Scream first released, it was a major success as it was a breath of fresh air and a genre oversaturated with nearly identical films. People really enjoyed the fourth wall breaking story. The issue was that the film's success gave birth to many other imitators, including the following Scream entries, which used a similar structure. Thus, the slasher's innovative approach quickly became a cliché itself and is a much more labored watch for modern viewers.
Oh, there he is. I told you he's right around the corner.
Up next in our list, we have Animal House. Animal House was one of the most successful comedies of the 70s. The film's influence and success can't be argued against. But in 2023, you can really feel that it's a movie from nearly 50 years ago. In a time where inclusivity is an essential part of society, a film that's full of jokes about sexual assault, racism, and homophobia is way too problematic to be a casual watch for most folks. I mean, there's a scene where one of the characters is contemplating whether he should sexually assault an unconscious girl at a party, and another where the joke is that the character's girlfriend is underage. The film is obviously a representation of the times during which it was created, and while people loved it as a classic raunchy comedy a few decades ago, it's a bit hard to stomach in today's age. If nothing else, Animal House is a good gauge of how much progress we've made in 45 years.
Woo! Hoo-ha! Where'd he get the wheels?
From his brother?
Yeah?
Our runner-up is Blade Runner. Blade Runner was a revolutionary film for the 1980s, with its effects on the sci-fi genre and the cyberpunk aesthetic being felt even today. One of the main reasons for the film being so successful was the main character, Rick Deckard. Rick is meant to be a rough-edged, stoic protagonist, a result of the dystopian times he's forced to live in. Well, as important as he is for the film, the way he treats women in Blade Runner is clearly unacceptable and is yet another example of how different the world was 40 years ago. While during the 80s he wasn't seen as problematic, things are quite different now. I mean, just think about the scene where he didn't let Rachel leave his apartment and forced her to kiss him. Not a good look. And of course, the film's modern sequel dropped this aspect of Deckard's character. In our first spot, we have The Breakfast Club. Breakfast Club is a beloved childhood flick for many of us. It was one of the first films to truly explore teenage dramas and showcase how captivating they could be. What made it stand out was the way it presented the multi-layered characters and the nuances of their personalities. It did a great job of showing the complexity behind bullying, rebelling, and friendship for teenagers. All of these things have stood the test of time outstandingly, but not some of the characters' actions and decisions. The film has one specific dynamic that really leaves a sour taste in your mouth, that of Claire and Bender. The relationship between these two is clearly toxic. Bender spends a big portion of the film harassing and bullying Claire, only for her to kiss him at the end and the two to fall for each other. A bit odd to say the least.
Oh, I have problems.
You do everything everybody ever tells you to do. That is a problem.
And that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Is there another film that you think is aged particularly poorly? Make sure to tell us in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content about your favorite movies, TV shows, characters, animes, games. Thank you again and see you next time.